Well, it's that time of year when it's not just Christmas. There's a lot that happens on the Isle of Man at this time. And one of the most famous events of this season is Cammag. A lot of people ask me what Cammag is if they've not seen it before. Well, I've come to the person who knows all about it, John Dog Callister. What is Cammag?
Short answer, killer hockey.
Killer hockey?
It's played with, some people have hockey sticks. It's played with sticks. I suppose you could say some of them resemble a hockey stick. Some have a big knob on the end, like a big round knob. Some have sweeping brushes. There's all sorts of silly things. I moan at that. If somebody's playing for me and they've got a stupid thing that they're going to use to knock, I'm saying I wish they were playing for the other side, because you can't do any damage with that. I want people with a proper stick playing proper Cammag. A stick you find off the hedge. I've got a whole flock of them in a bag, and I always bring them with me, and they're in the back of my van, and I say to people, if you haven't got a stick, go to the back of the white van over there, help yourself to a stick. I only ask, put it back when you've finished, and you can get it next year.
So you said the other team, it's always two particular sides that play each other.
Yes. There's the North, who I play for, the only team worth playing for, and the South.
It's quite a bitter rivalry, isn't it?
I tell you. And the dividing line is the Peel-Douglas Road. Part of it's the TT course. South of that, obviously, is the South, and north of that is the North. Mm-hmm. And I always say to them, I'd rather have leprosy than be a Southerner. Just to wind them up.
And it's always played on the St John's Field.
St John's Field on St Stephen's Day, Boxing Day. We have 2 goals, and Dave Fisher, it's got a good set. He created a good set of goalposts. He always turns up early, and we step out the pitch and we hammer these things in. And at the end of the game, he just collects them up and puts them away somewhere and appears with them the next year.
So I guess the aim of it is basically to get the ball in the goal and score as many times as you can.
It's like playing football, any game like that. It's between the posts, and you score a goal. I think we have sort of an unwritten law of height. If there's something that's 20 foot in the air, it won't be allowed. But if it's something that I think a normal goalkeeper could reach, I think it's counted. Poor old John Caneen, who's gone now, he kept it going for a long time, and he would turn up with the sticks as well. And then later on, he became the referee officiating, and he's got a wonderful big booming voice, you can imagine.
Keeping everyone in check.
Yeah.
But that's quite a thing to be a referee, because from what I understand, the rules are quite loose.
They are loose. There's 3 halves.
3 halves?
Yeah. And the clock on St John's Church is sort of the main thing. We start on that, and then we have like a first half, and then a second half, and a third half. And then we finish, when the clock strikes at the end.
And how many are on each team?
Well, it varies. Like some years, I think they were saying last year the South were a bit shang, they were a bit short. But you make your decision as where you're from, and it's whoever turns up. And often enough, I think the North always are well represented. It's always the South that seems to struggle. But you see, I wouldn't want to play for the South either. So so that's why half of them don't bother turning up. But it's played in good fun, and there's a lot of banter. And then we go to the hostelry across the road, and we drown our sorrows. And there's a bit of music always goes on in there. So it's sort of a day. We have hunt the Wren that day as well.
Oh,
so I'm in the village here at Mitre, and then we go to the Raven, and then to the Sulby, and then we go in the Sulby. Rosie puts mulled wine and stuff on, and then I always leave that and come back here. And one of my favourite things at Christmas, I have a turkey sandwich. I come in here and I'd have a big thick slice of turkey on a sandwich, and that's one of the best things I like about Christmas. And then away over to St John's then for the Cammag. And I have to admit, very, very rarely have we had rain.
Snow?
Well, there's been snow on the ground, if I remember rightly, but I think I remember playing and it was muddy and wet and all. But
What's the sort of score over the years then? Who wins most?
I wouldn't like to say. I'd like to think that the North have done well. Occasionally it's a draw. And last year, I was saying there was a draw, and we had to have a playoff. We had to have penalties, as they say in Peel. We had to have penalties to get a decider, because there is a cup of sorts that gets passed and so on. And we managed to win the playoff. Modesty forbids me saying who scored the final penalty.
We'll just say, well done, dog. So you said there's a cup of sorts. What's it like?
It is a cup, but it's had a hard time. But it's what it represents. You see, it could be it could be a turnip, but that turnip is the winning turnip, so it means a lot more than just any turnip.
And how long have you been playing for?
Well, I'm 75 now, and I think I've been playing since I was 20. Haven't missed many days. When I was younger, I remember there used to be a run on Boxing Day. I think it was a relay run from starting before Sky Hill, and I'd been involved in that, and that used to be that. But in the end, I stopped doing that. But I must be playing 30, 40 years.
Wow.
And as I say, my grandson Harvey was saying to me, he's 20-ish, he says, can't wait for the Cammag. And to me, that's wonderful.
I think that Cammag is a coming together in Manx culture. People of all shapes and sizes, old and young, coming together to play a sport which I suppose holds the collective goal of keeping Manx culture alive. It's a happy time. It's the best day of the year in a lot of people's eyes.
He's a youngster, and with somebody having that sort of attitude towards it, I think it's not gonna die out, because the youngsters, as Harvey is, are interested, and I think they'll when people like me are long gone, they'll be still there hammering it out.
Because you've actually got 3 generations on the field.
I have, yeah. There's myself, and then Harvey. He's my grandson, and then June did a lot of damage.
Is he dangerous?
Oh, June plays football. Used to play football. I always say of him, I wouldn't say he's the best player, but I tell you what, he does a lot of damage.
Cammag, for me, was one of the best days of the year. I love it. Get up in the morning, feeling a bit rough from Christmas. Go down St. John's, get a lift with the old man in the van and the 2 sons. We get down for a bit of a practice, knocking around the fields with the sticks out the back of Dad's van. I've carved different sticks over the years, and I'm rubbish at hockey in all fairness, but I like playing rugby. I don't mind getting stuck in, and there's no rules. So if you're stupid enough to pick the ball up, then you're stupid enough to get a hit round the back of the head with a stick. So I do pick the ball up when I can, give it a chug, but there's no malice. If someone did hit you around the back of the head with a stick, they would apologise afterwards. Yeah, starts at 2, 3 halves, usually when the clock dings, and it's tradition for the North to win, but sometimes we let the South win.
I've seen him playing rugby as well. Both him and Harvey have played a lot of rugby, which is great, because there's no fear in them when they're playing football. Like, Harvey's not a big person, and he'll go in and hit somebody, twice his size, for want of a better word. And I tell you what, they look and they think, geez, what was that?
So it's quite physical.
Oh, it is. It can be physical, yeah. There can be a ruck sometimes, and there's an old crowd and it's going. And June, from his rugby experience, will take a run, and he'll hit this bunch, and it'll all collapse on the floor. No, yeah. So it can be physical, and you can get a smack with the stick, or you can get a smack with the ball. The ball is like a tennis ball without the fluff on it. can half go if you catch it right.
So it's kind of a combination of different sports, isn't it? You've mentioned hockey. Sounds like there's a bit of rugby in there as well.
Yeah.
Maybe a bit of kind of football
Yeah.
from the running backwards and forwards. But there's not really positions, is there?
Not really, but as I say, killer hockey is a perfect example, a perfect description. There are positions. There are people who play up and the people who defend at the back, and there's certain skills needed for both of them. Yeah.
And you encourage spectators as well.
Oh yeah, I can't believe how many. It's gradually over the years. I can remember playing and there'd be 4 or 5 people watching, and come on, get a stick and have a game, and all this stuff. But now like for instance, the wall across from the road, there's a wall where the walk is up to the hill, and there's people standing. There's crowds of people standing on that, and both north and south. There's all sorts of cheering going on, and I'm a wind-up merchant, as you probably know, and I love the banter. You'll get people that comes there every year, and you get the usual stick. And there's a fella plays in our team, but he's always got a bottle of whiskey with him, and we always have a snifter half-time, so we have 3 snifters.
And so it sounds like that's your sort of what you look forward to most at Christmas is actually Boxing Day. So you've got Hunt the Wren and then the Cammag. So it is so Manx, isn't it?
Oh yeah, the Hunt the Wren again is wonderful, and I think that's increasing as well.
Mm-hmm.
Daughter Jo plays a squeeze box and so on, and there's other people come along play instruments, and then there's loads of dancers, and then we go from here, as I say, the mitre, and most people then go down to the Raven, and there's always a good crowd of Ballaugh people then come up to watch in the Raven car park, and then we go to Sulby Glen, and in Sulby Glen car park, and I've seen 100 people standing round, and there's
And that will only ever happen on the Isle of Man, which is brilliant.
well, yeah, and it's great that you see I'm getting along in the tooth now. I don't know how long I've got, but there's lots of young people involved, so I know when I'm gone there'll be not only my family, there's loads of youngsters who are prepared to keep it going and realise what we've got, and realise what we'd lose if it didn't happen.
Yeah. Well, have a great Cammag this year, dog. Look after yourself, won't you? It sounds a bit dangerous to me.
Well, I'll do my best. I don't get that much involved now, but I'm shouting at people, pick him up and do this, do that. So I'm using my head more than me body these days. But if there's another penalty shootout, I'm hoping that I can, come to the fore again.
Score the winner.
Yes.
Around